Well, for the CGIAR, GCARD is a critical process to get input from our stakeholders to make sure that the new portfolio of programs for 2017 to 2022 that we're in the middle of developing is really demand-based. And this morning I was in the plenary session where Kwesi Attekra chaired a feedback session on the 20 national consultations that we've had and 5 regional consultations that preceded this meeting. And that provided the key input for us for what we call our site integration plans, the plans of how all the centers and CRPs align and coordinate among themselves, but particularly and critically with national priorities and national partners. Well, the CGIAR is changing quite rapidly, as you may know. We used to be 15 centers primarily implementing a large portfolio of bilateral projects, and we've been very busy coming up with a single strategy for the CGIAR and a portfolio of large research programs. And we're right now in the middle of developing the second generation. And the second generation strategy, the so-called strategy and results framework, is closely aligned with the SDGs. That sets quantitative targets of what the CGIAR will contribute to global development, both globally and locally, over the next few years. And now we're implementing or developing a series of new programs through which we will deliver our contributions. So this is a critical stage of figuring out what the best contribution is the CGIAR can make and how that is best aligned with our partners. And GCARD is the key consultation process that we have. Well, I completely agree with Lindiwe Sibanda that those are some priority issues. Of course, we are all about food and nutrition security for everybody, for all, and making sure that people get out of poverty and making sure that there is more employment for young people in Africa. But the one line through which you can capture that is to say that we have to have healthy diets for all from sustainable food systems. And that's very much, we are focusing on our strategy now on healthy diets and on agri-food systems and have a major priority for climate smart agriculture. Concretely, what that means is that in addition to, if you like, increasing the productivity of crops, we have a heavy focus on, for instance, coming up with more nutritious food, micronutrients in orange-fleshed sweet potatoes that are going to millions of consumers, or new beans that are adopted in Rwanda that have a high iron content, helping with health of mothers and kids particularly. And indeed coming up with climate smart agriculture, whether it's drought resistant crops, which are extremely critical of course to this part of the world which is in such a deep drought right now, or coming up with better drought insurance products that are available to farmers, helping farmers be more resilient to climate change. So I agree those are the 2 top priorities, and they're very much the priorities for the CGIAR as well. Yes, it's actually a 2-year process. That's why GCARD says 2015-16. It is a 2-year process where we have these consultations in the 20 countries where the centers come up with their site integration plans, and where by the end of the year we hope to be ready to have, if you like, fully supported research programs that are endorsed by all stakeholders. Now, what we are learning is partly the kind of things that you're just referring to, what the priorities of countries are, to make sure that it's not just the CGIAR that thinks that malnutrition and climate change should be the top priorities, but to make sure that we are well aligned with the CADEP national investment plans, for instance, and to make sure that we listen to our national partners. And indeed, we had a session this morning where we heard from some of our national consultations that we should involve more youth, more women's organizations, and that we can't expect to have one meeting and be done. That we have one meeting, that we come back here, but it has to be an ongoing consultation process. But, as one person this morning in the session said, this is of course a great idea. You should have done it a long time ago, but anyway, it's a good step in the right direction. I believe it's definitely that.